Welcome to Scumbag Sunday from Pattaya, Thailand. And this story actually centers around Pattaya. This story is about a German guy that wanted to come to Pattaya so bad, he'd do anything to make it happen. He was married at the time. It's starting to rain again, so let me hop in my car. I'm gonna get home to the balcony and I'm gonna tell you guys this story. It's pretty unbelievable, pretty gruesome too. What's up guys, Greeny. In today's episode of Scumbag Sunday, I'm gonna tell you about a real scummy person. This guy wanted to go to Pattaya, Thailand, sort of where I am, close to. I'm about 30 minutes away, but he would do anything to go to Thailand. There was only one thing standing in his way: his wife. What are you gonna do? You're married. Can't go to Thailand. You gotta stay with your wife. Your wife's not. Whose wife's gonna agree to let them go to Pattaya, Thailand? This guy, his name was Horst Koenig. Horst was married to a lady named Grace. Grace was a Filipino national. Philippine national? She was a Filipina. I think that's what they call the ladies from the Philippines. Anyways, Horst had met her 10 years earlier in the Philippines, in Cebu, on a dating website. They fell madly in love, I guess. I don't know. Horst was 43 at the time, and Grace was 27. Horst made arrangements for Grace to come to Germany, where he lived, and they got married in Germany. This happened to be Horst's third marriage. I'm not sure if Grace knew that or not. In my research, I couldn't figure that out. They stayed married for about 10 years. Then this incident happened. I'm gonna call time out here for a second. If you guys wouldn't mind just taking 1 minute to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, really help the channel out. Whenever people subscribe on a certain video, it really helps push it out. And that's why I always ask you guys to do that, because it's just amazing how much better a video will perform when people actually hit the subscribe button. So please, please, please do me a favor, hit that, like the video, and give you a minute. Okay, appreciate it. Let's get on with the story. Horst was talking to a lady in Pattaya. I'll call her a girl because I'm sure she was much, much younger. And somehow she was fueling his need to want to come to Pattaya, and apparently she was promising to make his wildest fantasies come true. And this just drove him nuts. Not to mention that it's believed that he was a huge adulterer during the relationship with Grace. So this guy is some sort of sex fiend apparently. He's just a kinky, freaky dude that wants to get it on all the time. So he makes arrangements and heads to Pattaya by himself. Well, he takes off and leaves. Well, the neighbors, Grace's friends, her people from church, her co-worker, she worked at a grocery store. Grace apparently went missing at the same time. People started getting very concerned, so they contacted Grace's family in the Philippines, who told them they haven't heard from Grace either, and they were starting to get concerned. A call was made to the police. They went to the house, found nobody home at the house. They ended up, I don't know if they get a search warrant in Germany or how they go about searching the house, but they searched the house and found nothing suspicious except for one drop of blood in the bedroom. Obviously, a drop of blood is going to make the police be very suspicious. And they were starting to fear for Grace's safety. They also found evidence that Horst had a storage locker somewhere. They conducted a search of the storage locker and found a computer there. Upon searching the computer, they found searches through the search engine. I'm sure they did a forensic search on the hard drive, everything else. They found that one thing that was searched was how do you kill somebody with one strike? Another thing that was searched was how to stop a body from smelling when it's decomposing. Obviously, at this point, they are in a full-out search for Grace. Totally concerned. The family doesn't know where she is. Her friends don't know where she is. And nobody's talked to Horst until the police start checking around, checking with Horst's friends, checking with some neighbors, and they found two people that had stated that Horst told them that Grace left him and went back to Philippines. He said he was distraught about this and he's going to do whatever he could do to get her back. However, in the meantime, he was taken off to Thailand for a vacation. The police were able to get information from Grace's bank that her bank account had been cleaned out and a plane ticket had been purchased to Thailand in just Horst's name, just one plane ticket in Horst's name, and the rest of her money was gone. So at this point, she's missing. Family in Philippines doesn't know where she is. The authorities have not talked to Horst. Her friends and coworkers are very, very scared and nervous that something bad had happened to her. The police didn't have enough evidence to contact Thai authorities or put out an arrest warrant at this point for Horst. All they could do is just wait for him to come back because it was a dead end. They had nothing else. They had no body. They had one drop of blood and some suspicious searches on a computer. So they waited. In the meantime, Horst was living his best life in Pattaya. He was with the girl that had sent him the messages. The police later found photos and different information on his phone that indicate that he was with a much younger woman in Pattaya. And he had 5 weeks of a sex-fueled little holiday in Thailand, but eventually he ran out of money and went back to Germany. At that point, the police arrested him on, I guess, what would be kind of called probable cause. In America, we call it probable cause. They believe that he was responsible for her being missing. When experienced criminals get arrested, they will usually like lawyer up or not want to talk to the police. The first thing Horst did was admit that he had ended his wife's life and wanted to end his own life now. What he told the police was he was tired of his wife. She was on the phone all the time. She wasn't paying attention to him. The marriage wasn't going well. He even said at one point she burned a pot on the stove because she was on her phone so much, and he had just had enough of her. She wasn't paying enough attention to him. Although, like I said, the records indicate that Horst was an adulterer anyways, so it was a bad marriage. He had done some research and made a list on what he was going to do to her. And the first thing he did was bought supplies. He bought like industrial plastic bags, duct tape, a 5-pound hammer, and did some research. So one night he struck her in the head with the hammer, pulled a plastic bag over her face, so her life ended. Was she suffocated? Did it end from the head injury? I'm not sure about that, but it ended. What gets really gruesome here is what he did afterwards. He did his research on how to stop a body from decomposing, how to make it not smell. Well, he bought a reciprocal saw. I don't know. I think it's the one that goes zzz, like that. Anyways, he dismembered her body, put it into 8 pieces, put it in a plastic bin in plastic bags, put salt in there, also filled it in with some sort of like, you know, the construction foam. I think, you know, the stuff you spray and it fills up. Anyways, he did everything he could do to stop this body from decomposing and smelling. And he hid it somewhere. I think it was in another storage area because it wasn't in the original one that the police searched. But anyways, he told the police where it was. They found it. He went to trial, actually. At his trial, the judge said that this was like the most heinous crime that he had ever heard of. And Horst was found guilty. He was 53 at the time, and he'll be in prison till at least the time when he's, I think, 76, 77 years old. Probably going to do life in prison, but there's a chance he could get out, which is kind of crazy. You know, Grace, they had a funeral. She was cremated. Her remains were sent back to the Philippines. This is one of the craziest stories I'd ever heard about somebody being so friggin' horny and having to go to Thailand, they would actually kill their spouse. I mean, how hard is it to just get a divorce, go your separate ways, and do what you got to do? But obviously, this man was really sick. Anyways, just kind of a short story here. I came across it while doing some research. I think the Daily Mail had an article. I think the Sun, and there was a Filipino YouTube channel that also did a story in Tagalog, and I was able to understand a little of that and kind of get some information from that. It wasn't easy. I kind of had to figure it out a little bit, but I'll put a link to that channel in the description so you guys can check that out. Even though if you don't speak Tagalog, you're not going to understand what they're saying. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Greeny out.